Recorded Books and One-Click Digital present An Obvious Fact by Craig Johnson. Narrated by me, George Guidall. Chapter 1. I tried to think how many times I'd kneeled down on asphalt to read the signs, but I knew this was the first time I'd done it in Hewlett. Located in the northeast corner of the Wyoming Black Hills, the town is best known for being the home of Devil's Tower. I looked at the macadam blend, the stones shining in the mix that was still wet from the early morning rain, and sighed. With the advent of anti-lock brakes, it was hard enough to properly estimate the speed of a vehicle involved in a traffic accident, never mind in the rain. "Do you see anything?" I nudged my hat farther back on my head and turned to look at the large Indian leaning against the door of Lola, his Baltic Blue 59 Thunderbird, and my granddaughter's namesake. "How about you come over here and take a look for yourself?" Henry Standing Bear didn't move and continued to study the large book in his hands. "I am on vacation." I was kneeling at the apex of a sweeping curve on State Route 24, where the road veered off toward Matotipala, the Cheyenne name for the first United States national monument, so declared by Teddy Roosevelt in 1906. "There is traffic coming." I didn't hear anything, but that didn't mean he wasn't right. So I walked to the edge of the road and watched as a phalanx of motorcyclists came around the corner and descended toward us like a flock of disgruntled magpies. They slowed, not for me, I wasn't in uniform, but because of the corpuscle red Indian motorcycle, with the modified KTM extended rear axle dirt bike that roosted on the flatbed trailer behind the Thunderbird. The leather-clad cyclists thumbed their horns and gave a collected thumbs-up to the Cheyenne Nation as he leaned there, looking as if he were negotiating a treaty, with his muscled arms folded over his chest, the first volume of Leslie S. Klinger's The New Annotated Sherlock Holmes, The Complete Short Stories, in one hand. He could have waved back. He shook his head. That would not fit with the tourist's stereotypical vision of the stoic yet noble savage. I glanced at the book. "Is that mine?" "Yes. I took it from your shelves. I did not think you would mind if I borrowed it." I glanced back at Devil's Tower, crowding the horizon. The geologic area around the megalith is not of the same composition as the tower itself, and the belief is that about 50 to 60 million years ago, during the Paleogene period, an igneous intrusion forced its way up through the local sedimentary stone, some saying it was an ancient volcano, some saying it was a laccolith, an uncovered bulge that never made it to the surface. "You know how it got its name, right?" "Yours or ours?" I ignored him and started back toward the T-Bird. When Colonel Richard Irving Dodge led an expedition back in 1875, his interpreter got it wrong and referred to it as Bad God's Tower, which then became Devil's Tower without the apostrophe, as per the geographic standard. I opened Lola's passenger door and eased in. The bear climbed into the driver's seat and studied me. I reached back and stroked Dog's head. "You don't care." "About what?" "The apostrophe." It hit the ignition on the big bird. "I care that a delegation of my people attempted to have the name restored to Bear Lodge National Historic Landmark, but your U.S. representative killed it. The name change will harm the tourist trade and bring economic hardship to area communities." I knew the man he was talking about, and I had to admit that his nasal imitation was spot on. "But as an expert, what's your feeling on the apostrophe?" He grunted and placed the book between us. "There is nothing more deceptive than an obvious fact." Pulling the vintage convertible into gear, he patted the book. "Sherlock Holmes." "Did you borrow all 3 volumes?" He pulled onto the vacant road. "Yes." "Oh, brother." It took a while to drive the 9 miles into Hewlett, 18 minutes to be exact, because 30 miles an hour was as fast as Henry Standing Bear was willing to drive Lola, the car, especially while towing Lucy, the motorcycle, and Rosalie, the dirt bike. The bear liked giving vehicles women's names. We skipped Hewlett's Main Street.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?